Hello, YouTube, and welcome to Behind the Wall, presented by Perky Jerky. I'm Nick, also known as Thermite917, along with my co-captain for the night, Alex, aka Kane Jr. 88. Unfortunately, Tyler couldn't be here tonight, but we still have a great show for you. We'll discuss this weekend's races from Bristol, talk Dale Jr.'s surprising retirement announcement, hand out some awards, show off some paint schemes, and make our fantasy picks as usual. But anyway, let's get right into it. Kane, Bristol was pretty exciting, wasn't it?
Oh my God, it was. I now like most of NASCAR Nation, I had to miss the race on Monday because I had work, but thankfully I have DVR, so I taped it and I watched the whole thing when I got home. And oh my God, am I glad I taped it. That was one of the most exciting races I think I've ever seen. Even, I mean, despite the results, I mean, yeah, the results could have been better, but hey, man, that's Bristol. That is the best that I've seen it. Best, some of the best action I've seen at Bristol in a long time, and I think we're. It's. I think it's safe to say it's back.
Yeah, I mean, I got to agree with that. There was really good racing out there, even for Xfinity, at least late in the race. They added a VHT, whatever that stands for, also known as track bite, in the lower groove to try to get the bottom going because without it, it probably just would have been all top line. And we all know the fans don't like that. Um,
Yeah,
but I'm not sure it did much for the first half of Xfinity. But man, the Cup race, I'd like to compare it to like a dirt track. It was constantly changing, and all the teams had to be on their toes because like who knows, like no one knew what their setup was going to have to be like by the end.
absolutely. I mean, everybody. I mean, there were guys that were dominant. Like Kyle Larson was pretty much dominant throughout the throughout the first segment or stage. Sorry, he led all 125 laps, and then second stage. I mean, I guess the track really changed, and the team couldn't keep up with the changes. And I mean, he didn't win. He actually did not win stage two and stage three. Yeah, granted, he had a speeding penalty late in the race, which pretty much killed his chances. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
And
it did.
but man, the way he came back from that, I was impressed, and I thought he was going to pull this one off. But I mean, I guess his car just faded at the end because the track had changed a bunch, and he wound up finishing sixth, which. I mean, that's obviously not what he wants. Obviously, he wants a win like every other driver out there. But I mean, but obviously on the opposite end of that, you have Jimmy. Jimmy Johnson. Um, well, it's hard to describe. I mean, obviously at the beginning of the race, it didn't go very smoothly. He started about mid-pack. I mean, he worked his way up, but he and Chad were able to keep up with the changes of the track, and eventually they found themselves in the lead with like 100 laps to go, and I think that was like their first laps led of the race. So it's pretty much the same way they ran the race last week at Texas. Because obviously Texas being a new track, obviously the track changed a little bit later in the race, but and similar situation here at Bristol, the track changed a bunch and it paid off for the 48 teams. So kudos to them.
Yeah, I mean, that was a Jimmy Johnson type race. He just worked on his car all day and was there when it counted. It's kind of like how he is in the regular season and then onto the chase. Not really talking about him and then winning the championship. So it could be another one of those years yet again. But
Yeah,
that was his 82nd career victory, and he's pretty close to Cale Yarborough and Darrell Waltrip now. So
he is one behind Cale Yarborough and two behind Darrell Waltrip and Bobby Allison on the all-time wins list.
yeah, I mean, you can hate on him all you want, but Jesus, he's good. Come on.
I know, and it's going to be a damn shame when he retires.
Yeah, and we'll get to retirement talk eventually, but
I mean, on a similar note, a Jimmy Johnson season, it's like when Barack Obama makes a speech. He starts off slow at the beginning and he goes fast at the end.
yeah, yeah, if you want to go
Yeah.
that way. Uh,
I mean, that's just an analogy I learned from Frank Caliendo. So,
yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's a good point. And that's
yeah.
what champions do. They don't always have the fastest car for the entire race, but they're there when it matters. Also, going back to the speeding penalties, Truex had one also, and he was probably the second best car for a lot of the race. Um, and then to Xfinity, we had some action there near the end with Darrell Wallace Jr. Spinning out Brendan Gaughan because he got a little too tight off the corner. Uh,
Yep.
Brendan proceeded to give him a certain finger, but it turned out,
And
they were good by the end. I guess Brendan was probably happy that Bubba ended up wrecking after that. So,
yeah, I think so because you don't want to mess with him. He's a big dude.
yeah,
I mean, there's a bunch of drivers that you do not want to mess with, and Brendan Gaughan is one of them.
yeah, but
I'm just gonna be honest right here.
at least it seems like those two are pretty good friends and like to race each other for the most part. So,
Oh yeah, I mean, because you saw after Bubba wrecked out, they were talking about it in the garage area or on pit road, and I mean, there was no fight, there's no punches thrown. I mean, they weren't yelling at each other. It was just sportsmanship, and I was happy to see that.
yeah, that exactly that was good sportsmanship. Um, Trying to look at my notes, see what else happened. How about that save with Cole Custer and Brandon Jones?
Oh yeah,
'Cause,
that was impressive.
yeah,
But unfortunately, it ended both of their days pretty much. Cole Custer finished like 32nd, I think, and it really hurts because he was one of the Dash for Cash drivers. He raced his way into a Dash for Cash spot, and I forget which stage it was in, but he managed to get a shot at a Dash for Cash, and unfortunately it didn't work out. So
yeah. But congrats to Daniel Hemrick
yeah,
for winning the Dash for Cash this week. And
yeah.
there's also a Dash for Cash race next week at Richmond, so that should be fun as well.
Oh man, here we go. I hope now the real problem is which Cup drivers are running, because that was obviously a problem this weekend. I mean, the top four, or no, the top three were Cup regulars. Obviously they're young. You know, they haven't won a race yet in Cup, but they're still learning. But and the only reason they ran on Saturday was to obviously gain experience for the Cup race. Like obviously Eric Jones, Daniel Suarez, they've never started a Cup race at Bristol. I mean, obviously Jones back in 2015, he subbed for Denny Hamlin in the spring race at Bristol after Hamlin had to get out of the car with like neck spasms or something like that, or back spasms.
Some kind of spasm. It's Denny Hamlin. It
Yeah,
could have been anything.
yeah, pretty much. But yeah, Suarez has never even run a Cup car at Bristol, so he kind of needed the experience. And obviously Ryan Blaney. I mean, I like Ryan Blaney. Don't get me wrong, and that's saying a lot coming from a junior fan, considering how much these two have been. I mean, obviously they're all good. They've straightened everything out. But yeah, I was kind of hoping Blaney could, if it had to be a Cup driver, I was hoping Blaney could win. But unfortunately, Eric Jones got the win. I mean, I have nothing against Eric Jones. That kid's a wheelman. I mean, and it showed not just on Saturday, but on Monday as well. I was really impressed with that 77 car.
Yeah, me too. And as you probably saw, Eric Jones gave the bump and run to Ryan Blaney late in the Xfinity race. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but I really wanted to see what would have happened if Blaney got back to him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you see these. I mean, the racing was so great, and you were wondering was Blaney going to do the same thing back to Eric?
I'm sure he would,
I
but I
mean,
don't think he would have wrecked him. Blaney's a pretty clean driver, I think, but
yeah, he
it
is.
would have been an exciting finish.
Unless, of course, he's racing around Dale Jr. That's another
Yeah,
story.
that is another story.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, I think we pretty much covered everything as far as the racing is concerned. What would you
Yep.
give as far as a rating?
Well, I mentioned this after the Xfinity race on Saturday. You can either have great racing great racing and shitty results, or vice versa. But you know what? I mean, I really don't base my pick on my rating on result. I base it on the racing action, and I'm going to definitely give it a 7.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to give it a 7 as well. It was a pretty great race. I think my only downside would be since it's Bristol, I was hoping for maybe a little more beating and banging in tempers. And there was some, with a couple drivers in Xfinity, which we'll get to in a few minutes. But as far as the racing goes, I mean, it was pretty good for Bristol. As far especially since they've had to do a lot to the track, and I think they got a good combination going.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously the bottom was the place to be, like at the beginning of the race, but then once guys started running the top, like Kyle Larson, they started to rubber it in, And I don't know if you noticed, but late in the race on restarts, the top line was actually the place to be. I mean,
Yeah,
I saw Kyle Larson go from like 10th to 4th in one lap. That's how much. I mean, even though the bottom line is all rubbered in and stuff, the top line became the place to be on late race restarts, and it really paid off for a lot of guys.
yeah, and either way, fans are going to complain because that's what they do. Um,
Yeah.
I think they need to decide. Do you want the one groove Wreckfest? That were in like in the early 2000s and before that, or do you want the multi groove racing? I think today, like I said, they had a good combination of both, and hopefully they kind of stick with that.
I have to agree. Yeah, obviously we're not gonna. I don't know if we're ever gonna have the Bristol of the late '90s and early thousands, but this multi groove racing that we saw this weekend was definitely a step in the right direction, and hopefully, and I hope to God Bristol doesn't just stop there. Obviously the racing is great, but you got to keep. But if you want it to be even better, you got to keep going and make it better.
Yeah, I know there weren't many fans there because it was rain delayed to Monday, but still, I think they were struggling with attendance for the past few races there. So who knows what the fans want anymore?
Well, and you also have to keep into effect too. There was a lot of flooding, and the campgrounds around Bristol Motor Speedway.
That's true.
And I don't know if for those who hadn't heard, I got to give a big round of applause to Chris Buescher. Sunday night, he was obviously at the track, but he was literally him and a friend of his. They went around and helped all the campers who's like tents and pop-up campers have all flooded, and he's like giving them assistance and stuff. And so I hats off to you, man. That was cool. That was really cool. That was a Class C act right there.
Yeah, that was really cool. It's nice to see the drivers give back. And speaking of that again, for a little bit of a side note, with Sam Bass struggling, I think some drivers were stepping up and helping with that as well.
Yep. Absolutely. I think I read that Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, and Dale Jr. are all gonna team up and help Sam, which that was cool.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any. Obviously, I'm sure other drivers are going to step up and help him as well. This guy is a legend. If he doesn't get into the NASCAR Hall of Fame, then I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm sorry. This guy deserves to be first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that, but he should definitely be in the Hall of Fame. Without him, who knows what the artistic side of NASCAR would look like.
Absolutely. You have to remember, this is the man who came up with the Rainbow Warriors paint scheme for Jeff Gordon, as well as his Fire and Flames car from the thousands, '01 to '08, the Firestorm paint scheme that he ran from '09 to 2013, and of course the Exalta Flame scheme that he most recently ran right up until the day he retired. And also, of course, Dale Jr.'s Exalta Flashpoint car that you've seen him run numerous times this season. If you want the definition of paint scheme porn, you're looking at it right there.
Yeah, that pretty much does it for Bristol discussion. And now we are going to talk about one of the breaking news stories that happened this week. We actually have two breaking news stories for the week. The first one is we have Tyler here with us now. Middleburg has entered the podcast, so he will be contributing to the segments to follow.
Yeah, damn right I will.
Yes, you will. The second breaking news story that I think the whole world knows about now is Dale Jr. has announced that he is going to retire at the end of the season. And I always liked Jr. I thought he was a good guy and everything, but I know I wasn't as big of a fan as Kane and Middleburg, so I'll let those two talk this one out. So, guys, what do you have to say?
Well, obviously we're all pretty surprised that he's going to retire so soon. Well, if you think about it, it's not really that soon, but I really didn't expect it to come after 2017. I really thought he was going to do at least another year, but it turns out that he's only going to do just his duration of the contract, and that's it. So, what can I say? I was struggling to put it into words this morning when I found out, and just disappointed, but you're just gonna have to live with it. That's what he wants to do. So, you know, but I've had a good time rooting for him his entire career. So I got plenty of great memories, along with some really shitty ones.
Yeah, I mean, I literally right when my alarm went off this morning, I was when I found out about Junior, and yeah, I was just as surprised as the rest of everybody was. I thought for sure he was gonna retire maybe after 2018 or 2019. But yeah, this is definitely a lot sooner than I anticipated, and I will say I did shed a few tears. I'm not afraid to admit that. Um, but obviously I'm wondering. I mean, and obviously I was left wondering, what's going to happen to like Dirty Mo Radio and all that stuff. I mean, who's gonna take over the ride for next year? I mean, obviously we think Alex Bowman's going to be the man for the job, but then again, you've also got William Byron in the pipeline as well, so it could be a toss up really. But but yeah, I mean, and I actually watched his press conference today live on FS1, and even though my brother kept giving me shit about it because he always likes to give me shit about being a Junior fan. He's been doing it for several years, but you know what? This today was. I mean, this was literally one of the worst weeks for me sports-wise. I mean, from the Blackhawks getting swept by the Predators to
Get
Junior's.
that hockey shit out of here.
Sorry, I'm just pissed right now. Okay, damn it. But then
Leave
again,
Kane alone.
But then you got Junior's shitty run at Bristol, and then this. I mean, ah, and what made it worse were all the tweets that I saw from Junior fans who it was like reading a suicide note. I mean, they were so distraught over this happening. I mean, I knew it was going to happen eventually. I mean, obviously not this soon, but I mean, literally, Junior Nation was literally like wanting to kill themselves. Not literally, but figuratively. But you understand what I mean. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I mean, I tried to stay off of Twitter for a while, but I couldn't. I mean, obviously, I got to give a round of applause to all the reporters, especially Jeff Gluck. I liked a lot of the articles that he wrote on his website about this, and in fact, he even did one with fan reactions. So, and like he actually linked a bunch of words to fans' tweets about the news, and I mean, oh man, it's gonna be tough. I mean, I guess because honestly. I've been a Junior fan since 2002. A friend of mine, I got a Dale Jr. number 8 T-shirt. Didn't say Budweiser on it, thankfully, so I could wear it to school for my 9th birthday, and I was hooked. And obviously, it's been some of the best. It's been some of the best. I think it was this is the 16th year I'm rooting for him now. Yeah, so it's been a great 16 years rooting for him, and I just can't believe it's all coming to an end.
I mean, I feel the same way. It's, I mean, pretty much a similar story to Kane now. It was about like 2003 that I really started remembering. It was just like, like when we're all kids and we just like pick, our favorite driver or whatever, like, oh, that car looks cool. That was kind of what it was for me. Like, I was just like, oh, yeah, there's a guy, number 8 red car. Thought it looked cool. I like him.
That's
Over the
nifty.
years. Yeah, yeah, I know. And over the years, I mean, it became more about that. It was just like, he was a cool dude to follow. It never mattered to me that he wasn't, the best statistically, and he didn't win a championship, and that sucks. But at the end of the day, it's just like I give a shit more about who I'm rooting for than their statistics. I mean, if I wanted to be a fucking bandwagoner, I could have been a Kyle Busch fan a long time ago, but I think he's such a dick that I would
Yeah.
refuse to root for somebody like that.
We're all happy you didn't
So,
go that route.
yes, we are
Yeah.
very happy. I'm extremely happy. But, I mean, that's kind of why I started liking Chase Elliott. Like, I mean, I think he is very similar attitude-wise when it comes to Dale Jr. So I just feel like he is the perfect next guy in line. and
They both hate it for their guys.
they both hate it for the guys. That's true. So yeah,
And
but
also, Kevin Harvick brought up an interesting point tonight on his Sirius XM show, Happy Hours. He actually said that Chase Elliott is going to be the new face of NASCAR once Junior retires. I mean, because
he will be.
they literally
Yeah, he will
they
be.
literally both come from the same background. I mean, they're both the sons of two of Hall of Famers. You know, I mean, obviously Chase. He mentioned that Chase has that Southern connection because he's from Georgia. You know, which is obviously where a lot of fans call home. So a lot of fans can relate to Chase.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and obviously he's under a lot of pressure, like Junior was when he first started. You know, being the son of Dale Sr. But I mean, Chase was under a lot of pressure, not just being Bill Elliott's kid, but also taking over the 24 car for Jeff Gordon. So I mean, and I kind of have to agree with Harvick on this.
Yeah, but we'll cover all that on the Chase Elliott download.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, I mean,
uh,
Dale Jr. was, he was the driver everyone knew. Like even if you didn't watch NASCAR, it was, either him or Jeff Gordon. And I'm just glad, he can go out on his own terms.
yeah, that's a real big thing too, and he obviously alluded to it, being wanting it to be on his own terms. I'm glad he's coming back and he's running this season because it would really suck if he would have just like, okay, I want to, I'm retiring
Yeah,
after last year and missing half the season.
yeah,
After
That would have been awful, you know.
yeah,
So in other words, taking the Carl Edwards route.
yeah. If Junior
Mm,
pulled the Carl Edwards route,
kinda.
NASCAR would have just blown up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It would be no more.
yeah,
But I mean, I think the
Absolutely.
future's bright. You're talking about Chase Elliott, and there's also Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, Eric Jones, those guys. So I think it'll be hard, to pick a new driver or whatever. But I think NASCAR, they'll survive.
yeah. I'm not worried about the amount of, people and good people to root for. I think just but there is going to be a significant fallout. There's plenty of people that have that attitude, and
Yeah,
they did with Gordon and Stewart as well. Just going, yeah, they're not racing anymore. I'm done. I'm out. You know,
yeah,
Yeah.
because a lot of people buy into a certain driver, and to be honest, I'm the same way. I feel like I'm more of a Dale Jr. fan than I am a NASCAR fan. But as I've gotten older, I've realized that I mean, I do. Obviously, I like the racing. I wouldn't, be a part of it if I didn't. But I'm willing to accept the fact that he's going to retire, and there's an era that's going to have to end, and you just move on to the next part of it. So, I mean, it's gonna suck come Homestead time for sure, and I'm not
Yep.
sure if I'll even have the right words then, but we'll see.
yeah.
Yeah. And just for reference, earlier today I saw a tweet that Homestead's ticket prices have skyrocketed like 300%. And I think there's going to be a sellout for that race.
Oh, sure, it's gonna be a sellout. It's already championship weekend. I looked and checked. I don't even think individual tickets are available yet. Just weekend package.
Just to wrap all that up, I think I speak for everyone here when I say, thank you, Dale, and we wish you all the best in your future.
Yep, I have to agree. Junior, thank you so much for the past 16 years. I mean, I wish I could have met you. I mean, I almost did back in '02. You were in Des Plaines, Illinois at a local bar, and unfortunately the event was so poorly organized that we couldn't even get close to you. We did get a few glimpses, but yeah, we didn't get close enough. There was too many people there, and yeah, we left empty-handed.
Yeah.
But
Tyler
it's
met
been
him.
a hell of a ride. Yeah, Tyler met him. Yeah, but it's been
Yeah,
one hell of a ride, and I'm really gonna miss you, dude. Cheers.
yeah. I've had a good fortune of meeting him. I forget the number. I think it's 7 or 8 times now, and I've gotten his autograph a lot of times. That was like one of the biggest goals I had as a kid. And then when I finally moved to North Carolina, it still even took from '06 to 2014. So that's 8 years. It still took me 8 years of living here to finally meet him. So,
Yeah,
but once I did, the floodgates opened up, and he's always just a chill dude. He's just like he seems, on TV or in an interview or whatever the hell. So,
yeah,
that's why people like him.
yeah,
So,
yeah. I mean, I'd love to get his autograph someday. I mean, with him retired, it would almost be like getting Richard Petty's autograph now. But I
Yeah.
mean, he's a driver everyone can relate to. I mean, how can you not like it?
True.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not impossible to get his autograph. I mean, you see Jeff Gordon still doing his VIP meet and greets every weekend.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about that because that is highway goddamn robbery. Okay? $624 for one of those things? Seriously, that's pathetic.
Got to get the 24 in there.
Yeah, gotta get the 24. Yep.
It's terrible, man. I mean, like, Gordon rarely does public meet and greets. It's trust me, we could go on and on about that, but we won't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm just saying.
All right, it's that time once again to hand out some awards, and I will go first. This one has to do with the Xfinity race, Whacked in the Melon. And if you know anything about melons, you know which driver that applies to. That is Ross Chastain. And he whacked Jeremy Clements in the melon. he flat out punched him in the face after Clements caught him by surprise. I guess those two had contact on the track, and Chastain was thinking about going to talk to him, and I guess Clements got to him first, and Chastain just reacted and punched him, and I guess he felt bad about it because he never punched anyone before, but, they both went to the hauler, and I guess they're good now, but who knows? It's a pretty crazy deal. But next.
All right, next award, as always, is Boner of the Week, and that goes to Kyle Larson. I mean, this guy dominated the whole race, only to get busted for speeding on pit road late in the race. I mean, he did come back and finish sixth, but in fact, he was actually running inside the top three very late in the race. He came back all the way to there, but I mean, if he hadn't sped on pit road, he probably would have won this thing. I got to be honest. So tough break there for the kid, and hopefully he can pull it off soon.
All right. Next award is a Lucky Dog, and that goes to Ty Dillon. He actually got 3 Lucky Dogs in a row to start the Cup race. That's a pretty crazy statistic. I mean, it's sometimes extremely hard to get a Lucky Dog anywhere, and the fact that Ty Dillon got 3 in a row at Bristol, I mean, that's pretty damn cool. So, Lucky Dog to Ty Dillon.
All right, next award is Hello Darkness, My Old Friend, and that goes to Dale Jr. I mean, once again, shit-ass luck, and, oh yeah, hashtag Oil Cooler Dale. That was funny as hell, but little did we know, right after he wrecked out, that just 24 hours later, he would announce that he is retiring.
All right, next award is Skippy Squeeze, and that goes to David Reagan. He made quite the dumbass move to make it 3 wide on his teammate Landon Castle, and it caused a crash, which collected Danica Patrick. I mean, Danica did kind of come up, but I don't think Reagan should have come down to the middle in that situation. And there's going to be quite the meeting at Front Row Motorsports, I believe. So, Tyler, present the next award, please, if you feel like it. I don't know.
I do feel like it. And the next award goes to Ricky Stenhouse, and that is Slick Rick, and that you got a top 10. Like, Ricky Stenhouse getting a top 10, I mean, that's a pretty rare accomplishment for the lad, especially after his extremely tough weekend. And they got it all back together and had a good result, so good for them.
Sonny D.
Sonny D, yeah.
Next award is the Cigar Award, and this goes to 2 different people. First off, we're going to give it to Eric Jones because he had a pretty good run in that race. He was running up there in the top 3 and top 5 for a majority of it and got spoiled just because of bad circumstances. And, it's a real shame, but those guys did a hell of a job, and they're, a good little team. They're certainly going to be in contention for some wins.
Yeah, I agree.
Very soon enough.
Yeah. The other half of the Cigar Award goes to Quinn Houff, or however it's spelled. Who the hell is this guy? He made his Xfinity debut at Bristol with a crappy team, Precision Performance Motorsports, who Anthony Kumpen, the Belgian guy, also drove for earlier in the season. But this Quinn guy, he finished 15th, and he was on the lead lap most of the day. I think he went a lap down right when the caution was coming out, like each time. So, I mean, hats off to these guys, to have a debut like that with a crappy car. I mean, just good job. And the next award, it's once again time for the crying towel. And, again, it's the key word here because it goes to a driver that has a history of this.
No race up steer, center exit problems. Kyle Busch gets into the fence. He is slowed on the backstretch.
And that's probably right. Slow tire. Hey, every damn time. Your beans weren't hot there, man. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, no.
Kyle, not again! Oh my God! Another crying towel for your crying ass. This has got to be a new record. Believe me, I wish I could give it to Joey Logano, Denny Hamlin, or heck, even Mr. Never Put a Dollar into the Swear Jar David Reagan at this point. But no, they're all much more mature than you this season. Maybe that's because they haven't cut down a tire as many times. I'd be upset too if I had that happen to me every other race, but did you ever consider that it might not be Goodyear's fault? Maybe it's, I don't know, your setup? Ever hear of camber or brake bias or, any other various racing term that could help with tire wear? You're always so quick to blame someone else, but if you look around, Kyle. You seem to be the only one complaining about this. I know you're Kyle Busch, but this is bad even for you. Goodyear doesn't seem very concerned. So either they want you to die, or it's not their fault that you're cutting all these tires. So cut the whiny crap and just drive the damn car. Bad luck happens. It sucks more than Cody Coughlin, but that's racing. Control what you can control, like creating a better setup, and don't get your fire retardant undies in a bunch every time something goes wrong. It's not always the situation that's the problem. Sometimes it's your reaction or your attitude towards that situation that's the problem. And boy, do you ever have a crappy attitude. How has Samantha not sent you to a therapist yet? Better you do it now than Brexton 15 years down the road. Just saying.
Everything is not great.
Everything is not great, Kyle.
Hell of a job there, Nick.
Thank you. I'm out of breath after that one.
Alrighty, now time to take a look at some good paint schemes for the week, so enjoy the slideshow. Alright, well, now we again have a worst car of the week, and this week it's pretty damn simple, and it has to go to Chase Elliott's Little Caesar. Little Caesar's a Mountain Dew little special car there. Oh my God. I do not like this at all. There, just it was such a waste, and they really could have done something so much different. Paint scheme, it does not flow at all. It has that stupid little orange, whatever they're calling it, up there at the window net and whatnot. It's just so random and weird. I don't like it. The freaking Mountain Dew is insanely over. I mean, what more could you guys add about this? This is just
It's bad. It's lazy, and that's the theme of Hendrick lately. I mean, like you said, what's with that little orange part, by the window? I mean, it's not, I mean, if you're gonna put it there, put it, behind the rear window like the Napa car. I mean, nothing about this car really makes sense. I mean, good they picked up a sponsor, but I mean, come on, designers, you can do better.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the theme for all of Chase's paint schemes. That stupid 8-pillar spike that's on all his cars, his Napa car, his Kelly Blue Book car. Something tells me his Hooters car is going to somehow incorporate it, and I do not even want to see that. And then this. I mean, I don't know who it is. I don't know if it's a tribute to somebody at Hendrick or what, but God, this needs to stop.
It needs to stop.
It does need to stop, seriously. They need to hire somebody different because these cars suck.
Hire one of us.
Yeah.
Call 1-800-LAMACKI.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll come down there and kick some ass in North Carolina.
Yeah.
And piss in a ficus, like you said.
Yeah. You knew exactly where we were going. That was good.
But yeah, there's your crappy car for the week. Now let's talk fantasy picks. First of all, the results from Bristol. Kane won. He brought home the win. He picked Joey Logano, who finished 5th. Tyler picked Kevin Harvick, and he finished 3rd, but he got less stage points. So he finishes 2nd. Damani, who obviously is not here right now, he picked Denny Hamlin, who finished 10th. And I once again get last. I picked Kyle Busch, and he finished 35th. And obviously, he was not happy about that. But anyway, the overall points, Tyler still has the lead, a pretty big lead. He has 255 points. Kane has 194 points, so he's 61 back. I am 3rd, 100 back, and DeMonte is 222 points back since he only entered last week. So, getting to fantasy picks for Richmond, since I finished last at Bristol, I will go first, and I will pick the guy on the hot streak and the guy you can never count out, and he's also pretty good at the day races at Richmond. I'm going with Jimmy Johnson in the 48 car. I will also pick for Damani. He told me he wants to pick Kyle Larson in the number 42, so good choice for him. And Tyler had to step out once again. So Kane, let me know who he is picking, and then you can go.
All right. Well, Tyler has decided to go with Denny Hamlin. Obviously, a good choice. He won the last race run there. And as for me, I am going with Martin Truex Jr. He nearly won last fall, but he finished 3rd, and then of course had that lug nut penalty that I don't know what happened. I don't know what the penalty was for that, but yeah, he's obviously been strong. Obviously, both guys are strong at Richmond, and we'll see how this week goes.
Yeah, I think it'll be a pretty good one. I like that they've moved it to the day, or scheduled it that way, not have it be a rain delay. So there'll be a lot. There's going to be a lot of.
Let's hope it doesn't rain.
Yeah, let's hope it's not a night race because of rain. That would be kind of messed up. But there's going to be a lot of slipping and sliding, maybe multiple groove stuff like we saw there last time, I believe, or when Carl Edwards bumped Kyle Busch out of the way. So yeah, it should be a good one. Okay, so that does it for another episode of Behind the Wall, presented by Perky Jerky. You've been behind the wall once again. I hope you enjoyed it, and have a good day, everyone. See you next time. Who needs Tyler?
I know, really.
We'll find out.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm saying absolutely way too much. I gotta stop doing that. But
yeah, come on.
Yeah, but yeah, you and me both, Junior. Yeah, that wasn't such a good one. But anyways,
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I feel the same way. There might let me talk. God damn it.
No.
Well.
All right, Tyler, what do you have?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, anybody gonna pass off the next award to me?
oh, God.
You
All right,
have noises.
Yeah.
Damn, you really poured on a paragraph for that one. Woo.
Oh yeah.
Jamie Dobbs would be proud.
You certainly would
Except
be.
that it's
That was funny.
Jamie's favorite driver is Kyle Busch, so probably not.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
That's funny.
Kane, I don't know what you're doing over there.
What the fuck is this dry or something over there?
All right,
With that.
Well, considering I have a drinking cap with me right now
Fired
that
up.
I keep spilling on my bed.
Oh my god.
Damn it, Tyler!
Damn it, Tyler!
Mm. Oh my God.